Tell us about yourself, how long you've been at GAC, what sport you played, and how many years you played varsity.
Okay. My name is McIntosh. I've been going to JC since third grade. I just graduated class of 2019, and I played varsity basketball for 4 years.
All 4 years, huh? What was it like to be on varsity your freshman year? Like, what was that moment like when you found out, like, oh crap, I'm gonna play varsity?
Kind of like over the summer, it was like as the summer went by, that was Coach Eaton's like first year, so he was like, it was kind of like a clean slate for everybody. So just coming into, I just kind of had the mindset of, whatever happens. So just kind of throughout the summer, as the summer went by, I kind of got, a little more time with the varsity, and then kind of towards the end of the summer, it was like, all right, he'll be on the team, and then of course the season went by. After the first couple games, I started playing and starting. So from there, it just kind of took off.
So, what did that do for your like overall development as a basketball player to be able to play, with guys 3, 4 years older than you every single day, at such a young age? Like, how did that shape basically your game and just even your competitiveness?
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. Like in the beginning, you're kind of, you don't want to step on toes of older guys, but you definitely want to compete, your hardest. So I think probably after like you had like one or two like solid games, you're like, okay, like I can play at this level. I'm saying you kind of gain that confidence. So I think after that kind of happened early in the season, it definitely helped. And then Coach Eaton and the rest of our staff, like, they believed in me. So, they had a sense of belief and confidence in me. So that just, gave me more confidence to believe in myself.
Hmm. What was your favorite memory at GAC?
Favorite memory, junior year winning state championship.
I figured that was a no-brainer, but why is it so special to you? I mean, sure, like winning a championship is everybody's dream and goal, but like what specifically about it like can really make it truly your favorite memory?
I guess it's just like an accumulation of like that season and that work and just like that group of guys. Most of that team was juniors or like my class, so to be able to do it with like most of your like closest friends, it definitely like meant a lot. And that's something we were working towards our freshman sophomore year, and then our junior year we was able to get it done. So it definitely meant a lot.
For sure. What was your least favorite class while you were here? Without throwing anybody under the bridge.
Throwing anybody under the bus. Least favorite, I'll probably have to go with AP Physics C. I'm pretty sure that was like my lowest grade, like overall. Mr. Hamilton, he's a cool guy, but that class it just wasn't too fun.
Was it for you? What about in PT? What was your favorite lift?
Favorite lift in PT. I like when we started back squatting. I think the those bars. I think that was probably my favorite overall. And then something that was hard that I kind of like to do was like the Nordic lowers. Those, I mean, it was like really hard, so I kind of like enjoyed like trying to.
You do those a lot now, Elon? Yeah. Oh yeah, those are humbling for sure. All right, so now on to the topic at hand. We're talking about the T in our GRIT series, which stands for Try My Best. It's the final piece and really is the hands and feet of this whole acronym we've been working through and what we expect from all of our Spartan student athletes. So it's really important to us. So what comes to your mind when you hear Try My Best? And can you answer it both now as a college athlete and also what it would have meant to you as a high school athlete?
Yeah, I think that it has like a lot of layers to it. So I think Try My Best is just like personally, like for you, is like giving your all, giving like what you can bring to the table, and part of that is in a sense you can't really compare yourself to other people because your limit and what you bring is going to be different from somebody else's. So I think just trying your best is also just a personal accountability. Make sure I'm giving my all like to that standpoint, and then just kind of how it like relates differently, like high school to college. Like I think my situation was a little different. Usually, like when people come to college, like there's like a an adjustment period, like a change of roles, and then like honestly, my role was pretty like similar from high school to college. Like my first couple games, like in college, we're playing Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Michigan, and I'm starting playing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So just being able to throw in the fire, that's a different situation. I would say it's really just valuing your role. I think that's just the thing you say. Try your best, like whatever your role is, whatever you're supposed to do, or whatever your job is on the court or the field. Just excelling in your role and accepting it. I know a lot of people come into college or even high school like, all right, maybe I'm not the best player, maybe I'm not, doing what I want to do, but like this is my role, this is what needs to be done for the team to be successful. So it's part of like a sacrifice. Trying my best is I'm gonna do what's best for the team, putting the team to work yourself.
No, that's great because a lot of times when you hear try your best, it has a lot to do with your craft, but you're taking it a step deeper and saying, no, it's your role too. I mean, the craft is maybe just the top layer, but it's like once I understand, of course, I got to try my best in my craft and be more skilled and be more athletic. But if I really want to contribute, though, because it is a team environment, almost 9 times out of 10, it's the role that matters the most. And so I appreciate that you took that perspective with it. All right, so next question is work ethic is basically the topic, but in and of itself, it can be futile. How can we make sure that our work ethic has substance and meaning behind it? And I think you kind of answered this question already. We're talking about the role, but just taking like an outside view in on work ethic and just being more intelligent with it, if that makes sense, and just how can we be more purposeful with our work?
Yeah. I think just the biggest thing on that standpoint is kind of like work ethic is like, what do you want to accomplish? I mean, coming to a new season or new team or whatever, like you want to have certain goals of what you want to accomplish. So I think your work ethic towards that is how I'm working, for the position I'm in now, or is it, for the position I want to be? Because you always kind of stay the same, stay level, but if you're not, working towards like a new level or a new goal, then you're kind of going to stay, somewhat stagnant, like in your work. But I think it really just comes down to like how do you want to get to the next level? Saying like how do you want to get there? So if you're gonna you're gonna have to be doing it the same as like if you want to get somewhere you never gone, you have to do stuff you never did before. So I think just keeping that in perspective, like is what I'm doing now like enough in your mind, and then just kind of just tracking results. Like I can think I'm working hard, but in 3 months or 1 month or whatever, however period you're tracking, if I'm not seeing results, it's just kind of being mindful.
Yeah, and you could be working hard towards something that really you don't need to be working on that hard on, And it's just like, or showing up to the gym to shoot, and you end up messing around and like making videos rather than actually like putting shots up,
Definitely need to have a plan, definitely like a design, like a certain program or whatever formula, like something you can stick your, put yourself on towards. Like I'm gonna do X amount of sprints, I'm gonna do X amount of this, and then it's really just our coach calls it daily deposits. Like if you're, putting in your work day by day, then eventually you're gonna see some of that stuff come to fruition.
And something that just popped in my head is like this kind of battle between looking like you're working hard and how that in and of itself can be valuable, like in social media, and for your reputation and be like, yeah, I'm grinding, I'm working, versus like actually working hard and actually being purposeful. So I know there's always that temptation to put something on social media like, man, this is me, this is what I'm doing. So how do you kind of battle that? How do you handle that? It's just like, what's your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, I mean, my personal philosophy is I kind of, it's not like I don't want to show people I'm working hard, but I kind of feel like if you're working hard, like let your success like make the noise. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to bring my phone in the gym or post X amount of I'm doing this and that, because like in essence like what really matters is what you produce and what your product is on the court or the field. So I think it's cool and all. It's definitely gonna be like a motivation to like, oh, I'm doing this. Let some other people see it.
Yeah, especially your teammates. Like it can be inspiring too in some ways.
Showing that you're working, but it's not really necessary into a sense. So, but I mean, if you feel like that's okay, in order to keep me accountable, I need to maybe post something once a week or whatever. Then, cool and all, but just try not to get trapped up. But that's just more like a societal thing and likes and views or whatever. But if you really like care about the work, it doesn't matter who's watching.
So maybe a way to combat that would be like, hey, have a plan, commit to the plan, and if it gets filmed, it gets filmed.
Yeah, like I think the work itself, like that shouldn't change at all, whether like the camera's there or not.
Yeah, so as long as that doesn't take away from the plan or you carrying out the plan, then it's okay. That's good. All right, man. So we're gonna wrap up with one last question. Really talking about your faith. So with our faith and ultimate purpose in finding our place in God's kingdom and serving Him, how should we approach our spiritual work ethic? What does that look like? Or I mean, you could speak on it like, hey, this is what spiritual work ethic is like in my life, but also just like what your general philosophy is on just approaching, serving ultimately the kingdom, because that's what's going to last forever beyond our sport.
Yeah, definitely kind of relates to sports. It's definitely something I've been battling with personally, and I kind of rear back the scripture was talking about like not idolizing things and stuff like that. So like it's easy for me for an athlete to be like, oh, watching LeBron James or whoever's highlights for hours and stuff, but can I really put the same time in my word and what I'm reading and the content that I'm putting in. So it's easy to get caught up in the glitz and glamour of like athletics and whatnot, but you really just put things in perspective. Like I know at least personally, like my career is going to end sometime, so not to put everything into this, but have like a bigger picture and perspective of what's really going to be valued in my life. Like I don't want basketball or something to define me as a person. So just knowing that, keeping it in perspective, and like this isn't like the end all be all. Like if you put everything in athletics, like you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna eventually come to like it's gonna fall, and it's gonna wear away. But just kind of having faith, and I think it's very similar to like athletics. Like you have to practice it. You have to put in your time. So whether it's the same plans and goals athletically, you kind of have to have the same plans and goals like spiritually to keep you on track.
What's the scripture that's been on your mind lately?
I was reading in Luke the other day the story about how the Pharisees were praying and stuff and giving X amount of money like in the church, and there was like a poor woman. She gave like the only 2 coins she had, and Jesus was like, she's giving more than they can ever like any give, because it's really about like their intent and their heart. So I think that just relates to me, because I can easily say, oh, like I'm giving all I have, but like am I really doing that on a daily basis? So I think that's just kind of been on my mind recently. Like, am I giving what I need to do? That's not just financially, just in every aspect of like spiritual life.
Yeah.